Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by Dalton Kellett, of course, the driver of the number 4 Chevrolet for AJ Foyt Racing in the NTT Data Indycar Series. How's it going?
It's going well, Casey. Happy to be here. It's a rainy day here in Indy, just looking outside, but we've got some great weather coming this weekend for Long Beach, so flying out tomorrow.
Always good. Always a good time out in that area. Okay, so let's talk about how the year's going for you so far. How do you think things are going for your team so far this year?
I'm pretty positive with where we're at right now. I think we've had a better start to this year, certainly than last year, and I think the general sort of sentiment, in the team was that we felt that things were going better towards the end of the year last year, and we really wanted to hit the ground running and, start the year off on a good foot. And I think we've done that. We had a good qualifying performance at St. Pete. The car felt decent in the race. We had a couple of issues kind of getting our way in St. Pete as far as some gearbox problems, but from a pace and overall kind of car feeling standpoint, I'm definitely happy with where we're at.
Yeah. So I know that, of course, there's been a lot of changes with your team this year. You're the only one that is returning from last year. Of course, you have a teammate, of course, Kyle, with Kyle being there, as well as a couple new ones, of course, with JR on the ovals and Tatiana on the road and street courses. What's it been like working with all the new people you have?
It's always an adjustment when you have new people come on, but it's been great. Kyle and Tatiana are both great to work with. Kyle's obviously been very successful in the Road to Indy series and, is super quick. And, Tatiana brings a lot of experience from her time over in Europe in various series. And, JR is definitely a well-known quantity as far as his oval and road and street course prowess in IndyCar. So it's, it's a good atmosphere. It's a little bit different than it was last year, right? Because it was, Seb and myself full time, and then, Charlie and JR kind of coming in for some one-offs. So that was a bit more, I think I was trying to learn as much as I could from Seb last year, because, you don't get those opportunities too often to be partnered with somebody like that. Whereas this year, I would say it's a bit more of a, we're all kind of pushing each other type thing. And it's different, but it's really good. So I'm liking the atmosphere in the engineering room. Yeah.
So going into this year, what has worked this year that you're now better at that you didn't know last year coming in as a rookie?
I think excuse me, sorry, I'm just getting over a chest cold last week or so. I've been coughing all weekend last week, so getting there. That California air will definitely help. I think from last year, the big improvements that I've seen, just in that kind of that late braking through mid corner phase, just kind of the rolling speed and commitment, and then as far as coming off the brakes and getting the right apex speed, I think that's been that was definitely a learning process. So I was kind of trying to refine that throughout the year last year. And then, kind of just shifting focus to a bit more kind of, really trying to zone in on what we have to do to be ready to qualify well. Cause that, that track position at the start of the race is so important. If you start towards the back, by the time you do your first pit cycle, you're pretty much going a lap down right away. And that just kind of puts you in a bad box to be in. So we really came into it with we've got to qualify better. And I think I've sort of approached the weekends, the first with St. Pete, obviously the oval qualifying's a bit different, but my approach to St. Pete was every run, every session, every new tire run before in practice, right, is we're building to qualifying to really know what we've got for those couple laps on the Firestones in those sessions. So I think that approach and just some little technique tweaks and all that have been good on my end. And then we've done kind of the continuous work on the dampers is always something you hear everyone talk about. And I think some of the stuff that we, the team tested over the off season and simulated, we put that on the car in our off season tests. And that was a gain, something that we both felt, Kyle and I, when we both tried it, felt that it was good right away. So I think there's been, some gains there too. So it's all around. We're just kind of, refining.
Yeah, for sure. Going into Long Beach this weekend, that's of course one of one of the most iconic street courses, actually one of the most iconic places in this country. What is that? What is it like to go there?
It's super exciting. I'm definitely like showing my age. I'm a, 90s West Coast hip hop fan for sure. So I'm super excited to be out there. I think it's kind of a neat area, right? And I've got my weekend playlist ready to go. That Super Bowl halftime show was definitely speaking to like my age group this year. So I just think from that whole sort of SoCal LA area, like it's a great place to have an event. I think that the whole city really gets behind it, and you get people flying in from all over, but also lots of people that are local coming out for the event. And it's a long standing event, right? So it has a lot of that like inertia behind it, and I think that makes it really exciting. Like it's definitely a unique feel when you go to the track. Like remember I went there when I was in lights, and we weren't racing, and we were just kind of there hanging out, but like the vibe and the buzz like at the track is pretty unique. You can tell everyone's like it's a fun event to be at. It's like sort of like how Nashville feels, but it's a bit more lived in. Like everyone, it's been going on for a bit longer.
Yeah, for sure. What's it like to have Toronto back on the schedule?
Super excited. Hometown race. It's my first time there in the IndyCar. Had some experience there in lights and the rode in USF and Pro Mazda, and some decent results at a podium there in lights. And so really looking forward to coming back there and race in front of the home crowd. We'll have partners, friends, family, and a big group of people wearing all the K-Line shirts. So that'll be really exciting to see them out. And I think with COVID and the situation over the last couple of years, a lot of my friends and family haven't been to IndyCar races because they haven't really with travel and all that. So there's a lot of people that are really looking forward to coming out to the race, and I can't wait to share that experience with them all, and just the Toronto fans. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be exciting for sure. Going into this race weekend, what do you want to see out of this? And because we're entering in a very interesting stretch, because we have, of course, Barber coming up, another road course. Then, of course, the month of May brings its own set of challenges, and then of course, and then also Detroit as well.
Yeah, it's kind of we have another bit of a break after Long Beach, but then once we get into Barber, it's we're kind of like bang 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 all the way through Detroit, as you pointed out. And I think there is even Road America the weekend after Detroit. I can't remember. I think it is. So it's
somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's like that stretch is going to be super busy. So I think this is kind of a good opportunity for us really to try some stuff on our street course setup and see what really hone in on kind of the direction for the car that we want to go in as far as the street course tire is concerned, because it's a bit different, the road to the street course tire. So what you might need from a setup direction, excuse me, can be a bit different than you might want it like Indy GP or Barber. But I think we'll be taking the data out of this and like keeping that for Detroit and whatnot. And then again, just that focus on qualifying and consistency during the race, finishing well. That's sort of hitting the high points, and that's kind of what you're always looking for. But I really think it starts with qualifying.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend out there, for sure. Should be interesting. All right. Well, Dalton Kellett, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and good luck this weekend at Long Beach.
Thanks for having me, Casey. Appreciate it.